Hello, good morning. Okay, let's get started. All of you are here, and we have a lot of things to cover today. So, software is changing. This is one of the YouTube talks I was listening, and Andres Karapat, he is a guy who was at OpenAI, then built Tesla, uh, and he gave good talks. So, I was listening to him, and this was one of the deck from his slide. The idea here is that first we used to write code, then we used to write neural networks, we gave them positive, negative samples, and now we do none of that. What we are doing is we are writing prompts and we are programming in English. So if we need to program in English, or if the products are becoming software 3.0 is how we're going to talk to machine or use machines, then how should we build or have a product management specific things? Today, we'll talk a lot about product management. I know in these calls, we talk about product. Sometimes we talk about tools. Sometimes we do labs. Sometimes we just go and talk about different projects or tear down different projects or say, how can we multiply our own impact? But today focus will be product management. So if you are here to learn some tool today, we're not going to talk about tool, but we talk about what are the essentials of AI product management. We do it. It's a long thing, but hopefully I can land everything in 30 minutes and then you can ask me a question for 15 minutes. I'm Mahesh. If you're here for the first time, here's my LinkedIn. If you send me an invite, you can find me there. That's my claim to fame. I've worked in AI for long. I build agents. I build frameworks for agents. I build models or infrastructure components that are required to train these models. And I have built end-to-end AI products in traditional software 2.0. And before that, I worked in software 1.0. So I worked in all three 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. That's me. If you want to get connected, we have different forums. We have a Slack channel, we have a YouTube channel, and all that. With all that said, this is the agenda for today. First, we are going through three things, right? First, how to understand the space. This is a new space. Software has evolved a lot, and how in this evolved software, you're going to build products. Then we will see how can we identify different requirements and see how these requirements are creating a roadmap. And then we will see what are the other teams, what are the new teams you will interact with, what are they looking for, and how to succeed or ship on time. That's the third thing. By the way, these are the three things people evaluate if you're going for AIPM interviews, or if I am hiring you, or you're building products, or even if you're pitching to VCs. We are looking for people that are able to quickly identify. The first question is why you, why now? That's basically we are trying to figure out, hey, have you understood the AI? And second is engineering manager are asking like, how are you? Tell me how you went from idea to execution and how you set up the roadmap, why you did this before, why you didn't do this. By the way, we did this thing, now OpenAI does it. And without further ado, let's get started with the first one. How to identify key difference between AI and traditional PMs. So uh, we entered a new world, as I was showing with our webs our our deck, and we were saying that hey, this is a new world, and in the new world, what's new? What's new is now you're dealing with, and you can talk now. Just what's the difference between an AIPM versus AI products versus traditional products, or software 1.0 product versus 3.0 product? I wanted to say traditional. Any differences? Probabilistic, or we can say stochastic, where you can expect different kind of answers and there is no a single answer. Probabilistic, stochastic versus deterministic. You're dealing with a lot of data that was not there before, like different data. Your requirements have data, your assessments have data, and you're making a lot of data strategy specific things in your products. Model selection as well as evaluation of your agents or your end product evaluations looks very different. You
I
have to
think
set
the
it up.
I think the product development process for AI is definitely much more different. It's much more hands-on for the AI, for the PM in terms of getting involved and creating a lot more products.
Hands on. Can I say more iterative than before? Instead of just writing everything and knowing a lot in the beginning, you just start with like 1 or 2 pager, and then you validate your key hypothesis, and then you try again, and the data loop inside tells you which direction to go to. And this is basically the idea is deployment plus observance in production, and then resetting expectation or higher or lower. So let's stay here. Let's stay with this much. I think we nailed these down. And if you have that, can we just also say if you're building, so this is true, but I wanted to talk about agentic because agentic is cool. So three things about agentic. What are the different things in agentic products? We have tools, but that's a solution. What's the problem? What's the understanding? I think they have
They
a lot of unstructured
can make changes in
unstructured data.
the environment, let's say, right?
Yes, in structured data. Yeah, you're right. In structured data and they can make complex decision making. They have planner and they have tools and they have memory, right? These are the solution space. But mostly you're looking at unstructured data, complex decision making, and evolving requirements. There is no set of rules, right? That you have. They continue to evolve. Like today we are doing this research, but then the user comes, no, 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 no. But I want to do this one research. Now this one research. There's huge sense of adaptability that we have never seen before. And if you don't expose that to you limit your usage. The more free you give your users a chance, the more success it has will be your agentic products. Okay. So if you can understand this space, that's already like 50% of the win. So what is the core responsibilities? Let's go to the board. And I think these are the good four differentiation. And if these are the four differentiation, what as a product manager you are going to do? So what are the core responsibilities of AI product? First, let's identify the problem. If you have identified, let's break it down and create a clear roadmap. If you have created a clear roadmap, let's evaluate. If you have evaluated, make sure you have guardrails, responsibility, you have the legal figured out, you have transparency figured out, you have figured out setting the right expectation with the stakeholders, whether they are customers or leadership. That's your guardrails and responsibility. And in the end, you have figured out pricing. Essential skills, simple. You need to have been somebody said it, I think earlier when I was asking, they said very technical. So there is a requirement for you to be technical. Can you understand your how what these models are, what all of you were just saying, like this stochastic idea, the idea that data is different, the idea is how basic idea of how neural network actually work or model learn. Then we are looking for limitations. I think this is one big deal which most of people miss, especially when I'm talking to people or when we used to talk to people or interview them. Then we also are looking for people who understand the limitations. Yes. So knowing all these limitations will help you build these products. So let's go to the next one, responsible AI, which is what we talked about, Jessica. And you have to figure out pricing strategies. So if you're doing your own studies, focus on these four things, and I think you will be fine. This is the last one. If you're building agents, specifically for agents and specifically for vertical agents, we are also looking for domain expertise. If you don't have domain expertise, it's very hard for you to set evaluations, set human in loop feedbacks, setting the right expectation. So this is the last one. And this helps you find return on investment. And also the last takeaway I will give you here is you need to think beyond automation. Automation is great. Everybody's thinking about it. There is a lot of ROI quickly to get about it. But if you understand the domain, you have to figure out the problems that we were not able to solve with AI. I was talking to an investor, which company, 76 VC, and they were like, yes, we invested in companies last year where we were able to get to automation, but this time we are looking at this year specifically, we are looking to invest in companies where they're using AI and increasing the size of the pie, which is what are the additional use cases which were not possible before? That's my takeaway. I touched upon these. This is the course we teach. We are also doing AIPM interview bootcamp. We are revising, we are working on this. So this is a free thing. And we are starting this next week. So we are starting July 5th. So if you have not done it, please join. If you join, then you will get this free 3 to 4 weeks accelerator on what we are looking for AIPMs, and we'll prepare you on getting the right CV. So I think we all are able to understand. So understand is clear. We understood, we did the basic framework of what AIPM 101 is. So this is your audience here is your leaders, your strategic partners, other PMs. If they are interviewing you, they're looking for these muscles. The next muscle people are looking, your engineering partners. And they are looking, how can you turn? Okay, you got the ideas, you got your domain knowledge, and you have figured out what needs to be built. But now how to build it in AI? Okay, you have identified, now you have engineering partners and they are looking for help. Let me just quickly give you a TLDR. This is my most popular use case. I talk about this to land ideas because I think with examples we understand more. So let's say you are a product manager, you're given this case study to solve a problem of contracts. Everybody signs contracts and nobody understands them. Your job is to take the contracts and identify all the risk in the contract and then give it to the user. So all of us, consumers, small businesses, medium and large businesses, all of us are writing or reading or signing contracts every day. And it's very hard to understand. There is not enough lawyers in the world. We believe with AI, we can build an agent that integrates with your email, identify risk in your contracts, help you be compliant, help you bill your customers correctly, and create a repository where you can do filing or understand your business better because your contract has all your business terms also. The first step you need to do here is break it down. Every problem in AI or every agent that you're going to build will not come as sounds like a simple agent, which is you give me contract and I will give you risks in that contract. But in reality, this won't be a single problem. This will be multiple problems. So make sure you break it down. In my example, how will you break down? There is email processing. I need to read all the emails. I need to build classifiers. Which email is mine? Which email is contract? Hopefully, you will not support maybe all contract types. Then another classifier on contract classifier, and then do an action. So this is one component. The second component is once you have read it, you need to do the extraction of the document, the contract. Maybe you need to read the document, which is another AI component. And maybe you need to divide it into different clauses or sections. This is another component in itself. And then you have to analyze, which is extract the key terms, find their values, find citations where you got those values from. And then you have to find what are the risks. Then you have to rank them. And then you have to present them. So your first stage in this stage is that can you actually break these big AI agents into number of small agents? And this is where you can decide either you're going to build a multi-agent system or a single agent system. And if you're going to build a multi-agent system, how many agents will you need? This is where your requirements will come through. So that's your number one. Second is, once you know, this is where we said you need to be a little technical. Once you know these, you need to do a risk assessment on these. What are the kind of risks you can get in AI?
Hallucination is the basic.
Memory, accuracy, repeatability,
Non-deterministic.
legal,
Bias.
non-deterministic, I put it here, transparency, bias. So these are your risks. Once you have done that, you can profile your components into your different risk profiles. Then what you can say is, hey, you know what? Email is kind of medium risk. I have seen it done many times. Retrieval is also low because I have seen contracts converting, PDF converting into text with higher accuracy with these models. Analysis, getting the key terms and this is high. And actually finding all the risk, ranking them and doing this is very high. Once you know the risks, you do your risk profiling for all your risks and you can list in our detailed documentation. We have around 12 to 15 risks that we give you as a template, and then you figure out these risks. Based on these, you can put these components as low, medium, high. Then you need to narrow the scope because it's a audacious problems. All these problems, if you're going to build a very generic solution, then it's very hard for you to make a very highly accurate, a solution which is accurate, you can iterate fast and can start getting you revenue is hard. So you are expected to narrow the scope. Now you have narrowed the scope, but you have taken this very high risk to small risk, because the user is telling you what their playbooks or what the rules they follow. They don't sign a liability maybe more than $1 million. Maybe their net term has to be the net payment days is 60 days. If something above is a risk for them, what are your riskiest assumptions? And maybe upload them first. Based on this, if you have narrowed the scope, you have figured out the risk, you can actually start creating a roadmap. So we were narrowing the scope. Let's say we narrowed the scope enough. So in MVP, we are doing a very simple thing, which is we are going to extract key terms from only master service agreements, and we will put it in HubSpot. So if you give me a key master service agreement, any other email I get in contract, I won't do anything. I will, if it is a master service agreement, I will extract the key terms, which was one of the high risk, and I will do a HubSpot. Why I chose that? Because customers are ready to pay for it. It's one of the high risks, and it validates a couple of my low risks, and I start iterating with customers. I start getting data. Once I start getting data, I start doing risk identification, but the user need to provide the playbook or a rule book. If they don't provide me rule book, I can't do risks. So I'm relying on them, still narrow risk, but I can start delivering. And this one, I start automatically finding the risks, finding what is the right values, and behaving like a lawyer. So I can go in Word, I can start commenting that, hey, I don't take payment in 30 days. I need payment in 15 days because I have vendor that needs to be paid every 16th day. So I start putting these comments and start returning these documents to other party. And now once I have all this and I have a lot of contracts, I can start doing Q&A and I can start generating reports, sending alerts, doing much more creative things on top of this. So this is a good roadmap that your engineering managers are expecting from you. So if you are in an interview or if you're talking to your engineering counterparts or you're building products, I would love to first you have identify a broader problem and then you have given a roadmap like this. So those are two artifacts I expect from product managers. One, what is your crisp problem? And have you thought about all the limitations in the problem? And second phase, when I say identify phase, I'm looking for, have you identified what you're going to deliver first? And then I can probe you and you can defend your answers. Then you're gold. If you're gold, then we will take the same example and we will do this session again on next Friday, where we will take this MVP and build it in 3 stages. We're using Microsoft Copilot and front end maybe in V0 or Lovable. And we will show you how to combine ML and AI backend with the front end. What I have seen with PMs is they're able to do Lovable kind of thing on front end, and they are able to do backend if at least in our course, if you have done the course. So if you want to subscribe for that, you can subscribe now. Okay, key takeaway, breakdown, risk, narrow your scope, and create your roadmap. So now all of you can identify problems and create awesome roadmaps. Okay, then the last stage, execute, execute, execute. If you look at this board, we understood the problem, we identified, we serve our leaders, we serve our engineering managers, and now you have a roadmap you need to execute. And let me give you really quick TLDR on that. So let me just remove some of this, maybe. Yeah, very high risk, maybe risk analysis. So who are the people? So there are a lot of teams, other people who you're gonna serve. So let's quickly look at what they want from you so that you can nail that if they are asking you these questions during interviews, or if you're hiring them, what is the expectations from a product manager across different new roles? What roles I'm not going to talk about is engineering and UX. Those are not changing. They're a little bit more complex or involved, but at least I expect you that you already have these taken care of. I'm putting new things that you need to build AI products. Can somebody give me a few roles?
Anything,
Data
Mahesh,
scientist.
on sales and marketing?
Sales and marketing. I didn't add it, but thank you. It's not changing, but yes, agreed. Data scientist. So I can say data scientist. And what the data scientist is expecting from you?
Assumptions and the risks.
Assumptions and the risks. Close. So they are expecting you to define your success metrics. What is your North Star metrics? What is your latency metrics? What is your ROI metrics? All these guys are gonna find out in the data, which is not very trivial, and then I'll give you P95, P99 values of those metrics. And then you can set the targets and they can help you track those, create your dashboards. And this will be, if you're building multi-agent system, it would be how you break it down. And when you say we are not meeting our latency or accuracy, then they can also help you debug it and say which component are you failing the most, or is planning not working correctly. So setting those for data scientists. Any other component there? Can I say data engineers? What do data engineers do for you here?
Data quality,
Appliance.
take care of data quality.
Data
Great.
ingestion problem. Yeah, proper
Great.
quality.
They take care of quality. They get you data. If you need to do evaluations, you will need data. Even if you're not training, you will need data for evaluation. They will get you. They will also make sure that the data you are using as examples or otherwise is not getting leaked and is compliant. So you need to say tell them which compliance you need to do, and they will make sure all the data policies are there. The next one is researchers. What are researchers? What are they expecting from product managers? They need very clear research goals. You don't give them that, hey, improve this model. You want to give them very specific, hey, helpfulness is failing. This question is failing in helpfulness, that our model is not very succinctly answering questions, and our rogue score or our blue score is X. We want it to be Y based on this particular evaluation set I have provided you. Set clear expectations of research or the improvement you are expecting from them. So, okay, your researchers is looking for clarity. If you don't give this clarity, they will go everywhere. In my personal experience, when I don't set a very hard requirement, that accuracy today is 68%. Based on this precision, based on this recall number, and I want it to be 78%. If you don't do it, then if there's no clear requirement, they will spend a lot of time, which is 2 to 3 months, and then you will still not get what your customer are expecting from you. You have to convey the customer experience in the language that they understand. And sometimes they can understand just language is accuracy. Sometimes you need to break them into precision recall. Sometimes you have to break them into blue and rouge scores. So last thing is legal team. One takeaway or one good takeaway here is, what is the time expectations of these teams? Who should come first? Your data engineering requirements and your legal requirements should come at the top. People do that very late in the game, and that delays the program by 3 to 4 months. The legal team are not sitting idle for you. They need to run all the compliance, and they will give you a lot of changes. They will also ask you to do certifications. So make sure you can give legal requirements first. As soon as you write your 2-pager, you should work with your legal team. This is new in AIPM. You should also work with your data teams. Getting the data for evaluations is no easy job, and it takes good 2 to 3 months for them to get the right data for you. So work with them also. Those are the two major takeaway I want to give you. And if you have done that, then I can go to this deck somehow. So first, I give data foundation requirements. I say I need 10,000 label contracts. Then I talk about which compliance I need to comply to. These are the compliance that I want to go after. Then I want to set up my performance criteria, that I am expecting this much helpfulness, this much honesty, this much harmless scores. And then I will say, I am looking for my number to be 90% in accuracy risks. If you can do that, that's pretty much all you need to do. We talk about 3 things. How can you identify AI opportunities? This will help you understand AI space. And once you understand AI space, you will be able to identify these opportunities. Then we understood how we understand and then identify what are we going to go after and how we going to go after that, and what are the stages we can go after that. And then we had an execute section where we were discussing how can you actually help execute with other partners and set tight requirements and put everything on leash rather than keeping everything loose and never ship. So those are the key takeaways, or a quick TLDR of everything about AIPM. I know it's a long journey and you need to do a lot, but I think if you do this much, you can be very fast and learn all the concepts that are needed for you to become AIPMs. This is a quick 101 on AIPMs. That is it. Till that time, I will see you next time. Bye, team. Take care.